Okay, so the first thing is, I didn't even see this movie properly, because according to Aaron, also known as Matt Prada, I don't know if I'm supposed to use that name anymore. That is his SoundCloud name that I believe has since been retired, but I do think it's still his Instagram handle, Abigail, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
She says she believes so. So I'm just going to say Aaron / Matt Prada. He showed me some TikToks about how this movie was filmed with the first ever IMAX camera that actually can be used for long periods of time and can be shot for the entire movie. Meaning that this movie has an aspect ratio that is like completely different, as opposed to being a theater view. It's more square looking, and it completely shifts the, I think, zooming. I think it's kind of like 0.5 on an iPhone, how it's way different from 1x. So, for instance, when Odysseus is up against the giants, you see the entire body of the giants in the IMAX.
The entire body of Odysseus.
Yeah, and the entire body of Odysseus. You see it, the angle is so much wider when you see it with the IMAX camera. So me and Aaron want to go back and watch this movie again so we can see what it was actually supposed to look like. So, with that being noted, it's possible I missed some things. So, I have a lot of things to say about this movie. For one thing, it was 3 fucking hours long, and it was so fast paced that I can't believe they made it so fast paced and have it still be 3 hours long. I guess the original book or poem or whatever you would call it, I haven't read it. I guess it's a really long story. I know it's part of the Iliad that was written by Homer, if I'm not mistaken, who is an ancient Greek poet. Now, I don't know if the Iliad is just the Odyssey, or if it also dives into the Greek gods themselves as well. I don't know if it is an all-encompassing book or compendium, or if it's just talking about the Odyssey. I figure it's more than just the Odyssey. Now, another thing I'd like to say is that the main antagonist of this entire story, Agamemnon, is wearing the sickest fucking armor I've ever seen in my entire life. It's this black matte helmet and chest plate. He looks like he really looks like a villain. And that's one of my favorite parts of this movie, is just the attire that everyone is wearing. It's just fucking cool. Also, the casting. This kind of goes without saying, but you got Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Zendaya, Anne Hathaway. I know I'm missing people. This is an absolute incredible casting. And every single actor and actress fulfills their potential in this movie, I would say. It's incredible acting across the board. I'm going to say that the story itself, I found very hard to follow. I really had to lock in and pay attention to this shit, because it's so fast-paced that a lot of times I didn't know what was going on. Like with the Cyclops, when they get into the cave of the Cyclops, and they get out and then they get back in. Odysseus comes back in for the rest of his men. I don't really know what was going on there. I got kind of lost. But, okay, what else was cool about this movie? So, at the end of the movie, when Odysseus comes back to the castle, this is one of my favorite moments. He just starts taking on every single motherfucker who's hanging out there trying to, what would you call it? Charm the queen.
Yeah, what were they called? Yeah.
Suitors. They were suitors, and they were trying to charm the queen, and the royal family had to let them in because of Zeus's law. And this is another one of my key parts of this movie that I liked is the idea of Zeus's law that I never knew about before, where you have to treat every person that you interact with as the same as you would want to be treated, because they could be a god in disguise. And this is a huge payoff at near the end of the movie, because the entire time throughout the movie, Odysseus is being visited by Athena, who is played by Zendaya. Zendaya does a remarkable job of playing Athena, and you don't really know why he's being visited by her, other than the fact that he's been through this miraculous journey, really not, more of a tragic journey, and you don't know why he's being visited, really, aside from that. And you find out later that she was in disguise when Odysseus was raiding Troy. See, I never knew this about Greek mythology, but the Trojan horse, everyone knows about the Trojan horse. When the Greeks sneak into Troy, into the walls of Troy, and I don't believe Troy was an actual place that existed. I don't think it is believed by historians to be an actual place that existed. From what I understand, it is purely a fictional place of Homer's imagination. Oh my god, motherfucker, are you gonna pass me and the tractor? Okay, no, you're just gonna ride my ass. I would have preferred you just passed me, frankly. So, yeah, Odysseus was the intelligent mind behind the Trojan horse. He was the one who had the idea to sneak it in to the city. And they sneak in the horse, and in the middle of the night, all of these Greek soldiers start climbing out, and they sneak around very quietly until they get to the door that opens the city. And once they open those doors, all of the Greek army rushes in, and it's an absolute massacre.
And that really big knight.
Oh, that's Agamemnon.
He looked cool.
Agamemnon looks dope as fuck in that scene. Absolute asshole. Kills his own daughter as a sacrifice to the gods near the beginning of the movie. Dickhead. He's the entire reason that Odysseus had to leave to go to this war. He didn't want to leave. He had a family. He had a wife. He had a castle. He had I don't know, it was Ithaca. That was the city that Odysseus was the king of, or it was a village or something. He had to leave his wife and his son. He had to say goodbye to his wife, tell her that if he doesn't come back, she needs to take on a new husband. Abby's shaking her head because she wouldn't want to do that shit. He doesn't want to go, but Agamemnon makes him. Now this is what's curious to me. He doesn't want to go, yet he's the one who comes up with the idea to sneak the Trojan horse in.
Well, he wanted to live.
Yeah, I know, he wanted to live, so I guess Agamemnon was just making them stay until they figured out how to get into the city. I'm guessing that's it. He just wanted to go home. So he comes up with the idea to sneak in the Trojan horse. So yeah, I get it. Because in my head, it was kind of like, okay, you don't even want to be here. You don't even care how this war turns out. Why are you coming up with this amazing idea? But now it just did click in my head. He wanted to go home. Yeah. And the faster they broke into Troy, the faster they get to go home. Odysseus is watching the Greeks raid Troy and just slaughter everyone. Women and children, doesn't matter. And then Zendaya shows up. He sees Zendaya as a citizen of Troy. And she's crying, she's sobbing. Incredible acting. This is her best piece of acting in the entire movie. No question.
She says, please no.
Please no. She's sobbing, she's crying. And then, I believe the statue of Athena is in Troy.
Yeah.
right? And when they cut off Zendaya's head,
The head
at the
falls
same
off.
time, the head falls off of the statue of Athena. That was Zeus's law. He broke Zeus's law. He killed Athena in disguise. So at that point, he becomes cursed, incredibly cursed. And then the Odyssey begins. He sets off with his men. He departs from Agamemnon. And just all of his men die. Every single one of them at some point or another. Whether it's the Cyclops that kills them, or the treacherous waters, or the Sirens. I wish the Sirens was more of a deep scene. It was too quick.
Yeah.
That's my main, if I have any criticism for this movie, it's that everything was too quick.
And yet it was still 3 hours.
It was still 3 hours, and it's almost like, okay, you made it 3 hours, it's still too quick. Maybe you should have made this a 2-part movie. But, I mean, obviously, Christopher Nolan has never made a 2-part movie before. And if you make it 2 parts, is anyone going to really want to see it? Is anyone going to want to sit through part 1 knowing that they're not even going to get through the whole thing?
Yeah.
I get it. But in that case, I feel like Nolan should have made the artistic decision. But maybe he's completely fine with the way it is, and you can always watch it twice to really get a grip of things. But I would have loved for it to be longer so that I could really wrap my mind around it. So yeah, that's one of the absolute best scenes in the whole movie, is when they sneak into Troy. I mean, it's not enjoyable to watch because it's absolute cruelty and tragedy, but it's one of the most emotional scenes that really gets through to me. And it's really fun learning about Greek mythology as well. I loved Tom Holland's acting in the movie, except for one moment in the end when he yells. You remember when he yells at everyone, Abby, to like get them to all settle down in the castle? What's his character's name? Telemachus? It's Telemachus.
Yeah.
There's one scene where Telemachus, played by Tom Holland, he yells at everybody to settle down or like shut up or something.
That's enough or something like that.
That's enough! Yeah, that's what he yells. And I'm not gonna lie, Tom Holland's voice was a little too...
choppy.
It was a little too much of a chap. You can tell he's a bit of a chap, and he kind of sounded like a little boy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess maybe he's supposed to, because he is.
Yeah, that's
he's
kind of the whole point of the movie,
kid.
is that he's not old enough.
Yeah, he's not meant for this.
Yeah, that's the whole point, is that
He's
he's
a
not old
fucking
enough
kid.
to take over the throne. So all of the suitors want to...
Exactly. So yeah, of course when he yells, he's going to sound like a boy. So that might have been intentional. And also, Tom Holland just has such a baby face.
Yeah.
He looks like he's a great looking guy. He's more handsome than I'll ever be. But yeah, that is the point. That's true. And Robert Pattinson plays an incredible villain. I don't know if I've ever seen him play a villain before. He's usually like in all the movies I've seen him in. He's been in other ones like I think Mickey 17, is that what it's called? That came out last year. I haven't seen that. There's other movies that have done really well in the indie space that he branched out toward. But I've only ever seen him as the emo protagonist. No, there's Edward from Twilight, and then there's the Batman.
And Cedric Diggory.
Oh, and Cedric Diggory. Cedric Diggory is, I did love his role as Cedric Diggory in the Harry Potter, the 4th Harry Potter movie. I wish they would have given him more of a role, because in the books he shows up in the 3rd one. He shows up in the 3rd Harry Potter book, but he never gets a space in the 3rd Harry Potter movie, and I think that would have been more... It would have made his character more important, because Cedric Diggory is like this completely fair, respectful boy, but he's also very respected. He's a stud. He's like the stud of Hogwarts, and that makes his death, when you figure out how much of a nice guy he is, it makes his death so much more impactful at the end of the 4th movie. But that's a topic for another video. What are you shaking your head about, Abby?
Spoiled.
Oh, I did. All right, we're gonna have to edit in the Harry Potter spoiler alert. for that. I spoiled it for you? Oh my god! Oh my god! I can't believe it! I didn't know. I thought you already saw the... No! I thought you already knew.
No.
Oh my god. I'm a horrible husband. I'm a horrible husband. Oh my goodness. We were supposed to watch that movie next. You were excited. I was excited more. I ruined it. Or at least you don't know what happens in 5, 6, and 7. We're gonna... the 5th, 6th, and 7th, and 8th movie. I'm not gonna tell you what happens. Okay. I'm gonna try my absolute best.
Alright. Continue.
Damn. Oh, I'm a fucking idiot. Okay. So, yeah, it was my first time seeing... I almost said Edward. Robert Pattinson play a villain. And he does a great job. He's got that malicious look on his face. Incredible job. And Matt Damon does it. I thought that he was like one of the... I thought he was kind of settled for, because I saw something on social media saying that Christopher Nolan wanted to put Matthew McConaughey in there, and he also wanted to put Christian Bale in there before he chose Matt Damon, but apparently that was just a joke that originated from Matt Damon. So I believe Matt Damon actually was his first choice. And it makes sense because Christopher Nolan is such a respected director that nobody really turns him down. I hear a lot of actors talking about how they would never turn down a role from Christopher Nolan. Unless it's for a really good reason. This movie was shot beautifully. And yeah, the acting was incredible. So the fight scene that I was talking about a while ago is Odysseus comes back to the castle and all the suitors are there. And he's disguised as a beggar. And why is he doing this? This is one of my favorite quotes from the entire movie. Definitely, it's got to be my favorite quote from the movie. Is the best view of a man is from below. That is an incredible quote. It's essentially what he means by that, I believe, is you can tell the true measure of a man, and really of a human, by how they treat the people with less status than them. You see this with how, like, rich people treat waiters and waitresses. If you see a rich dude being a complete dickhead to a waiter or a waitress, you know what kind of person that really is. Or like fast food workers, etc. And the fact that kind of rule of thumb for measuring the true value of a human being, the fact that stood through time, that stood the test of time from all the way back then to now, is pretty cool. And just the fact that this entire story, I haven't gotten into the fight yet, have I?
No.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten into the fight. The fact that this entire story is so old, and it's being told by a new generation, and it's been being told in a new light with actors who are so prominent today, is so cool. But Odysseus dresses up as a beggar. No one knows it's him, and he's just in the back, and everyone's trying to wind up his bow because Odysseus is the only one. String the bow. Because Odysseus is the only one that could have ever strung that bow. No one has ever been able to do it. So it was the test of worthiness for anyone to take the throne, and nobody can do it. Even Robert Pattinson's character couldn't do it.
Well, he didn't even try.
He didn't even try?
No, remember he said, I get what you're doing. No one will ever live up to the great Odysseus.
Yeah, and can I just say that Robert Pattinson's character kind of confused me a little bit, because some of the dialogue from the movie, it kind of makes it seem like he actually did want to go to war. Because the big part of this villain, this antagonist, is that he ducks the war. Mm-hmm. He's dodging the draft, so to speak. And Elliot Page's character goes in his stead, because he is offered I guess money, essentially, resources, I believe, from Robert Pattinson's family's farm. I'm sorry, I didn't really catch the character's name of Robert Pattinson. I didn't really know how they were pronouncing it. But this, how was I talking about? The fight, yes. Oh, and Robert Pattinson's character. At times, his character was kind of making it seem like he actually wanted to go to war. Near the end, even, he almost looked like he had genuine remorse for not going to fight, almost as if Odysseus really forced him not to go. So, is this really an antagonist at all? So, I'm having trouble wrapping my head around whether Pattinson's character truly was a villain in that story. But the way that Odysseus treated him in the end, he fucking shoved that shit down his throat. That makes me think, okay, maybe this is a dickhead. If Odysseus thinks so, I think so.
He promised that if the kid went to war instead of him, then his family would take care of the guy's family forever or whatever. And then they just didn't. Robert Pattinson's family just straight up did not.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, he just straight up didn't do shit. If anything, he did the opposite.
Yeah.
And did not take care of his family at all. So, yeah, nobody's able to string this bow. Nobody. And everyone's like, okay, everyone's tried, nobody's been able to do it, so now what do we do? And then the beggar in the back, who's secretly Odysseus, says, I haven't done it. I haven't tried. And then everyone laughs. And then he's able to string it. And then he shoots the bow through all these little axes, and he threads the needle like a motherfucker. And he hits that shit like it's nothing. And then fight breaks out. And he's just throwing some absolute hands. Some fucking hands, yo. Just murking every single motherfucker that walks in his path like it's nothing. And Telemachus, Tom Holland's character, has to run into like this equipment room because they're trying to get weapons. So they can fight off Odysseus.
They had all of the weapons locked up in the room.
Oh yeah, because they were planning for this. So Telemachus is fighting this dude off, trying to keep him from getting the weapons. And he's doing a pretty damn good job. But the guy's throwing weapons down the hole.
A hole in the wall.
Yeah, there's a hole in the wall, in the floor, I thought, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Hole in the floor. Throwing weapons down the hole. People are picking them up. They're going at Odysseus with them. Like this. They're throwing the spears. Odysseus, doesn't fucking matter. Still wiping the floor. But then he starts to get starts to get a little shaky. Looks like people might get him. And then Telemachus yells, Dad! Dad! And he throws down a spear for him. Amazing part of the movie.
Was it just a spear?
I think it was just a spear. Yeah, I don't know how they would have gotten a shield down there. I don't know how they got shields. There were shields involved. Regardless, it doesn't matter.
And then Robert Pattinson's character is like, you didn't think you could kill all of us, did you?
Yeah, he's like, you didn't think you could kill all of us, did you? And then I think that after that is when Telemachus throws the spear for his dad.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I kind of like about this movie is that it's told in modern vernacular, in modern language. And that was a conscious choice by Christopher Nolan because he said that the original story of the Odyssey was actually very accessible linguistically. Very accessible for people of the time to read. Wasn't using very fancy language, so he decided to adopt that for this adaptation. And yeah, I think that was a good move. I think that was a really cool move on his part. Because you have a movie like the Romeo and Juliet movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, and they're talking in fucking Yorkshire the entire time. Thou'st not take mine gun. It's like, bro, you're doing a modern Romeo and Juliet. Why are you speaking? The whole point is that it's a modern Romeo and Juliet. Why are you speaking in like it's the 1700s?
Yeah.
That's not really the point of this. So yeah, I've never watched that. Do you ever watch that movie?
No.
I've watched like parts of it. I didn't watch the whole thing, so I'm not going to bash it without actually giving it a chance. It's possible that it was a good choice. But yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when Telemachus drops down that spear for his father. And yeah, it was a really cool moment. Another really cool moment is when Telemachus actually meets his father for the first time. He sees Odysseus's face, but he doesn't know it's him.
Because he's so old now.
Because he's so old now.
And Tom Holland was a baby.
Yeah, Tom Holland was a fucking baby. Telemachus was a baby when Odysseus left, so he doesn't know unless there's a painting of him. But even then, Odysseus is so old. So eventually, he finally figures it out. Because of the dog. Odysseus is like talking to the dog like he's an old friend. Odysseus has a dog. He was his hunting dog, and he saved him because they were like throwing dogs off of the cliff or something. Didn't really understand that part. Why would you do that? You're supposed to be the good guys. Maybe they're not completely the good guys, of course. A bit of an anti-hero, perhaps. Because he did do some fucked up shit. So that's another really good scene, is when Telemachus finally discovers that it's his father, because his father comes home and he's talking to the dog for the last time. Talking to him like an old friend.
Because the dog was only staying alive until Odysseus came home.
Yeah, dog was only staying alive until Odysseus came home. Oh, so amazing. That was one of my absolute favorite scenes. And then one last thing I'm going to touch on is the bow. When he plucks the bow. Yeah. Odysseus had this tradition, more kind of, or this routine, whenever he would hunt an animal, where he plucks the bow first to make a noise to warn the animal before he starts hunting it. He says that it's only fair and it's his chance to act honorably, and it makes it all the more devastating when the Greeks are rushing into Troy, because he didn't give them any fair warning at all. As a matter of fact, he deceived them completely, made them think that there was no problem, did the opposite of what he used to do. And that's when you realize how far gone his soul kind of is. And it gives him a little bit of redemption during the Odyssey, the part of the Odyssey, when they're actually going on the journey, he and his men, which I haven't talked about much in this video. When they're actually going on the adventure, they're on this island, and he finally has an opportunity to hunt an animal again, and he plucks the bow. After all that, going to Troy, completely losing himself because he wants to go home so badly. Then during the tail end of the Odyssey, near the end of it, he plucks the bow when he's hunting a pig. He kills the pig and he finds out that it's a human.
No,
that's a whole other thing.
That was a deer.
Oh, it was a deer, sorry. Hunting a deer. Oh, man. And that might be all about this movie that I talk about. Anything else I should cover, Abby?
I might need a second parter.
Yeah, might need a second party for the actual Odyssey. But the giants in the Odyssey, when I actually saw it in the IMAX version on the fucking TikTok, that was insane. Hardly even saw the bodies of the giants in the regular version, or not even the regular version, the cropped version.
The poor people.
Really wish, maybe my main critique is, like, I really wish a lot of this shit would have been longer. Really wish a lot of these scenes would have been longer, even though the movie's 3 hours long. Like the sirens. Wasn't much going on there. There wasn't much detail happening. Then the Cyclops scene, it moved too fast for me. The Cyclops was really freaky looking though. Oh yeah, it was grotesque. That body of the Cyclops. It was a little scary.
Oh, and the Cyclops was the son of Poseidon?
Oh yeah, the Cyclops was the son of Poseidon. So when they set out to sea after they meet the Cyclops is like the first bad fucking thing that happens to him. When they set out to sea after that, Poseidon is pissed off. Horrible, horrible sailing experience from that point forward. Yeah. I think I covered a lot of it. This movie's like 30 minutes long now. This was a pretty cool movie. Really cool movie. I do have some critiques. I'm going to give this movie 85%.
Luke score?
That's my 85% rotten Luke score. I've been a rotten boy. Good movie. Loved it. It's not my favorite Christopher Nolan movie. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say Interstellar. I haven't seen all of them, but I'm gonna say Interstellar is my favorite Nolan movie to date. There are some I still need to watch. I actually haven't even seen Inception. Abby, would you want to watch Inception at some point?
Sure.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
Never seen it? All right. Might make a movie about Inception at some point. That'd be pretty cool. Until then, my name is Luke, and this has been Castles in the Air. Her name is Abby. And
yeah.
that is all. Goodbye.